Walk into almost any dealership in America right now, and you'll notice something unusual. Cars that were once symbols of status, power, and cutting-edge design are just sitting there, not for a week or two, but for months. Rows of untouched sedans and luxury SUVs gathering dust, their tires slowly losing air, their paint fading under fluorescent lights. Even when dealers knock off $10,000, $20,000, sometimes even $30,000, buyers still refuse to touch them. And here's the shocking part. These aren't obscure brands or outdated clunkers. We're talking about vehicles that were supposed to dominate the market. Volvos, Audis, Mercedes, even brand new electric flagships with every modern feature you could imagine. Automakers brag about record sales and press releases, but behind closed doors, dealers are panicking. Some of these cars have been rotting on lots for over a year, and every day they sit unsold, they drag the brand's reputation further into the ground. So what went wrong? How did once respected nameplates turn into showroom dead weight? Today, we're uncovering the 10 cars in 2025 that dealerships simply cannot sell, and the surprising reasons why buyers are walking away in droves. Car number 10. The Lincoln Aviator was supposed to be Lincoln's sleek answer to German rivals, a mid-sized luxury SUV with style, comfort, and power. On paper, it checked every box: bold design, premium interiors, and the kind of presence that should have made a hit in showrooms. But in 2025, it's turning into a nightmare for dealers. Right now, the Aviator is sitting with an average 104 days of unsold inventory, more than 3 months gathering dust before anyone even considers signing the paperwork. So why is it failing? The answer is simple. Buyers just don't see it as special. Lincoln refreshed the Aviator, but the changes barely made headlines, and shoppers quickly realized they could get more prestige and better resale value by heading to BMW or Mercedes instead. Even Cadillac managed to outshine it with bolder updates. For Lincoln, that's devastating. A brand fighting to reinvent itself can't afford a flop in one of the most competitive luxury segments. And yet, this is only the beginning. Because while the Aviator struggles to find buyers, the next car on the list shows that even brands with glowing reputations aren't safe when demand collapses. Car number 9. When the Genesis GV70 first hit the market, it looked like a winner. Critics praised it as one of the sharpest luxury SUVs in its class, offering modern styling, a plush interior, and an affordable price compared to German rivals. For a while, buyers agreed, but in 2025, that early hype has fizzled out. Dealers are now reporting an average 106 days of unsold GV70s, meaning these once-hot crossovers are sitting for over 3 months before moving off the lot. So what happened? Part of the problem is timing. A facelift version of the GV70 is on the horizon, and shoppers aren't willing to pay full price for a model they already know is on its way out. Add to that the fact that Genesis still doesn't have the same brand prestige as BMW or Audi, and buyers begin to second-guess whether they want to commit to a car that could lose its value faster. For luxury buyers, perception is everything, and Genesis is still fighting an uphill battle to prove it belongs in the same league as the established names. The result is brutal for dealers. Discounts are creeping higher, trade-in values are sinking, and many early adopters who once bragged about owning a GV70 now feel stuck with an SUV nobody's lining up to buy. And if you think this is bad, just wait, because the next cars on this list show how even established European luxury brands are failing to keep buyers interested. Car number 8. Back in 2018, the Volvo XC40 was a breath of fresh air. It was stylish, compact, and packed with all the safety features that made Volvo a trusted name. Young professionals and small families loved it, and it quickly became one of the brand's bestsellers. But in 2025, that story has flipped. The XC40 is now sitting on dealer lots for an average of 107 days before selling, making it one of the slowest moving small luxury SUVs in America. The problem is that the XC40 hasn't kept up with the times. Buyers who once praised its modern look now see it as dated, especially with rivals rolling out sharper designs and longer-range hybrid or electric options. Even Volvo itself has hurt the XC40's momentum by hyping its next wave of EV crossovers, which makes current gas-powered and even hybrid versions feel like old news. For shoppers spending north of $40,000, nobody wants to feel like they're buying yesterday's technology. And for dealers, it's turning into a painful waiting game. Price cuts and incentives help move a few units, but the resale value is tanking, and many who bought one just a year or two ago are already seeing their SUVs depreciate faster than expected. It's a sign of how quickly a trendy model can lose its shine. But the XC40 isn't alone. Its bigger sibling is suffering an even harsher fate. Car number 7, 4 years. The Volvo XC90 was the crown jewel of the lineup. It had the reputation of being the safe, stylish, family-friendly luxury SUV that could hold its own against BMW, Audi, and Mercedes. Buyers loved its Scandinavian design, clean interior, and advanced safety tech. But in 2025, the XC90 is struggling badly. Dealers are stuck with an average 108 days of unsold inventory, nearly 4 months, before someone finally drives one off the lot. So why has the flagship fallen? The truth is, the XC90 feels outdated. Despite facelifts and mild updates, its core design hasn't changed much since 2015. In a market where buyers crave the newest tech and freshest styling, the XC90 looks more like a relic than a rival. Making things worse, Volvo has been loudly promoting its upcoming all-electric SUVs, which instantly makes the gas-powered XC90 feel like it's on borrowed time. For luxury buyers dropping $60,000 or more, nobody wants a car that already feels like it's nearing the end of its life cycle. This collapse is devastating for Volvo. The XC90 was supposed to carry the brand through the transition to EVs, but instead, it's exposing just how quickly consumer confidence can shift. And if the flagship can't hold its value, buyers start to question the entire lineup. That's why the next car on this list is so shocking, because unlike the XC90, it comes from a brand that's supposed to dominate the luxury SUV market, yet it's suffering the same slow death on dealer lots. Car number 6. When the Mercedes-Benz CLA first arrived, it was marketed as a gateway into the Mercedes brand, stylish, sporty, and relatively affordable compared to the brand's heavy hitters. It caught attention quickly, especially among younger buyers who wanted that three-pointed star without the six-figure price tag. But fast forward to 2025, and the CLA is languishing on dealer lots with an average of 109 days before selling, a number that tells you all you need to know. People simply aren't interested anymore. What went wrong? In short, the CLA lost its identity. Buyers quickly realized they could get more value and performance from competitors, and with Mercedes now pouring energy into hybrids and EVs, the CLA feels like yesterday's experiment. Even within Mercedes' own lineup, the CLA is overshadowed by sleeker, more advanced models that make it look outdated. And once the buzz wore off, buyers noticed the compromises: tight rear seating, uninspired driving dynamics, and a price tag that no longer feels justified. For dealers, this is a disaster. Incentives are rising, resale values are collapsing, and many CLAs are being sold below cost just to clear space for new inventory. It's a brutal reminder that in the luxury market, image is everything, and once a model loses its shine, it rarely gets it back. And as bad as that sounds, the next cars on this list prove that even massive SUVs, vehicles once thought immune to market slumps, are now gathering dust like forgotten relics. Car number 5. When the Range Rover Velar launched, it was hailed as one of the most beautiful SUVs on the market. Sleek, futuristic, and dripping with British luxury, it looked like the kind of vehicle that should dominate city streets and country clubs alike. But in 2025, the story couldn't be more different. Dealers are stuck with Velars, sitting an average of 111 days unsold, nearly 4 months of inventory, collecting dust, while buyers look elsewhere. So why are shoppers walking past one of the most stylish SUVs money can buy? The problem is that the Velar's good looks hide some serious flaws. Reliability concerns have haunted Range Rover for years, and buyers aren't willing to gamble $60,000 to $70,000 on a model that could leave them stranded with repair bills in the thousands. Add to that a crowded luxury SUV market, where BMW, Mercedes, and even Genesis are offering stronger warranties and better resale value, and suddenly the Velar's design isn't enough to close the deal. For Range Rover, the Velar has become a warning sign. Flashy styling and high-tech interiors can grab attention, but they can't overcome the reputation of a brand that's struggled with dependability. Dealers are cutting prices, but the depreciation hit is already brutal, and many current owners are discovering their once prized SUVs are worth far less than they imagined. And if you think the Wheeler struggles are bad, just wait, because the next SUV on the list shows that even raw power and prestige aren't enough to escape the slow sales curse. Car number 4. On paper, the Audi SQ7 should be a dream SUV. It's massive, it's luxurious, and under the hood it packs a twin-turbo V8 that can rocket this 3-row family hauler from 0 to 60 in under 5 seconds. It's the kind of mix of practicality and raw performance that used to guarantee instant showroom success. But in 2025, the SQ7 has become one of Audi's biggest headaches. Dealers are reporting an average 112 days of unsold inventory, and even big discounts aren't moving them fast enough. So what's keeping buyers away? The problem is a brutal combination of timing and perception. Fuel prices are high, and shoppers are wary of a gas-guzzling SUV that costs a small fortune to run. At the same time, the luxury market is shifting hard toward hybrids and EVs, and the SQ7 looks like a relic of the old world. For buyers spending over $90,000, the choice is clear. Why pick an aging gas-powered SUV when you could get Tesla, a BMW 9, or even Audi's own e-tron lineup that screams future instead of past? This leaves dealers in a bind. They're sitting on rows of SQ7s that cost them a fortune to keep in inventory, while customers stroll in, admire the power stats, and then walk right out to sign for something more efficient and future-proof. It's a crushing blow to Audi, a brand that built its reputation on marrying performance with innovation. And if you thought a gas-guzzling luxury SUV was a hard sell, just wait, because the next car on the list shows how even affordable sedans are becoming showroom dead weight. Car number 3. The Chevrolet Malibu was once a staple of American driveways, the dependable family sedan that could go toe-to-toe with Toyota and Honda. But in 2025, the Malibu is fading into obscurity. Dealers are reporting an average of 116 days of unsold inventory, nearly 4 months of cars piling up before anyone drives one home. For a model that's supposed to be Chevy's bread-and-butter sedan, that's a brutal sign of decline. The issue isn't just the Malibu, it's the entire midsize sedan market. Buyers in the US have shifted almost completely to SUVs and crossovers, leaving sedans like the Malibu collecting dust. Even loyal Chevy fans are bypassing it for the Equinox or the Blazer, and younger buyers see it as an outdated option compared to more stylish or fuel-efficient alternatives. To make matters worse, rumors about Chevy phasing out traditional sedans altogether have made shoppers even more hesitant to commit. Why buy a car today that the automaker might abandon tomorrow? For dealers, the Malibu has become a dead weight. Discounts are steep, trade-in values are plunging, and many buyers who financed one just a couple of years ago are finding themselves thousands underwater. What was once a safe, middle-class choice has become a financial trap, proving that sometimes loyalty to a nameplate just isn't enough. And if a mainstream sedan like the Malibu can't move, imagine what happens when a luxury sedan loses its shine, something Audi knows all too well. Car number 2. For decades, the Audi A4 was the definition of understated German luxury. It was the car you bought when you wanted refinement, technology, and status, without the flashiness of a BMW or the conservatism of a Mercedes. But in 2025, the A4 is in freefall. Dealers are watching units sit for an average of 118 days before selling, while sales overall have dropped nearly 50% compared to just a year ago. For a model once considered Audi's backbone, this is a stunning collapse. So what happened? The market simply moved on. Sedans are shrinking in popularity across the board, and when buyers do want one, they're looking for something bolder, faster, or electrified. Audi itself hasn't helped. The hype around the upcoming A4 e-tron has made the gas-powered version feel outdated overnight. Why spend $50,000 on a car that could look irrelevant the second its electric successor hits showrooms? For many buyers, the answer is obvious. Wait out or buy something else. This collapse hurts Audi in more ways than one. Not only are dealers stuck with nearly 4 months of unsold stock, but current A4 owners are facing plummeting resale values, wiping out thousands of dollars in equity. For a car that once symbolized balance and prestige, the A4 is now little more than a cautionary tale. And if you think this drop is steep, wait until you see the car that tops the list, the one model in 2025 that takes longer to sell than any other. Car number 1. At the very top of the list sits the Volvo S60, a sedan that once carried Volvo's reputation for safety and understated style. For years, it was seen as the thinking person's alternative to German luxury, solid, dependable, and quietly premium. But in 2025, The S60 has earned a title no automaker once, the slowest selling new car in the US. Right now, it takes an average of 132 days, over 4 months, before a single unit moves off a dealer lot. Why is it failing so badly? The S60 has become a victim of its own positioning. It isn't bold enough to stand out against German rivals, and it doesn't carry the price advantage of mainstream sedans. Worse, Volvo itself has shifted its focus almost entirely to electrification, which makes the S60 feel like a relic from a brand that's already moving on. Buyers who walk into showrooms see a car that looks competent but uninspiring, and in today's hyper-competitive market, competence just isn't enough. The impact has been devastating. Dealers are slashing prices, but even deep discounts can't disguise the fact that resale values are cratering. Owners who bought new just a couple of years ago are watching their investments sink faster than ever, and Volvo risks losing a key foothold in the sedan market altogether. The S60's fall isn't just about one car, it's about what happens when a model fails to evolve, leaving it abandoned on lots as both buyers and the brand itself move on. So what do these 10 cars tell us about the state of the market in 2025? They prove that no brand, no matter how prestigious or historic, is immune to failure. Luxury badges, sleek styling, and even fire-breathing engines can't save a car if buyers feel it's overpriced, outdated, or overshadowed by the competition. From Volvo's forgotten flagships to Audi's fading sedans and Chevy's dying Malibu, the message is brutally clear. Once consumer confidence slips, a model can go from showroom darling to unsellable dead weight almost overnight. And the consequences stretch far beyond the dealers. Owners who finance these cars at full price are watching thousands of dollars vanish in resale value. Insurance premiums climb, depreciation accelerates, and the car that once felt like an investment quickly turns into a liability. It's a sobering reminder that in today's auto market, the wrong choice doesn't just cost you at the dealership, it can drain your wallet for years. The real question now is simple: which cars will be next? As automakers pour billions into EVs and hybrids, more gas-powered models are bound to suffer the same fate. Will buyers look back and regret the cars they bought in 2025? Or will some of these models eventually find redemption in the used market? One thing's certain, the cars sitting abandoned on dealer lots today are sending a loud warning to anyone shopping tomorrow.